In this lecture, we're going to discuss the different types of questions in the SAT writing section. Now, there are 4 question types in SAT writing, the first one being sentence improvement. Sentence improvement's pretty simple. You're given a sentence, but you have to focus on the underlined portion of the sentence. This underlined portion is also the same as answer choice A. Your job is to determine which of the answer choices best fits in the underlined section. You have to use a combination of grammar and style to select the best answer choice. But be clear, there is a best answer choice and a process that you must follow in order to determine the best choice. Okay, the second type of question is error detection. It's also based on a sentence, but in this case, you're given one sentence with multiple parts of that sentence underlined. Your job is to pick which of the underlined sections contains an error. One of the big dangers here is that a lot of people pick choices because they think, well, I wouldn't exactly say that. I might say it a different way. But that doesn't mean that it's an error. You can't just pick an answer choice because, you would say it a different way. There has to be a clear problem with that choice. And of course, if there are no problems, then you should pick E, no error. The third type of question is called passage improvement. And this is one of the shortest parts. There's only 5 questions usually for passage improvement. And it's based on a passage that you'll be given. So there'll be a little reading passage, usually about 2 to 3 paragraphs. And after you read that, your job is to answer some questions associated with that passage. Now in this section, there's more of a variety of questions you can be asked, but it's a combination of things like, grammar obviously, but also things like logical connection and which ideas fit here and which don't. But once you get the hang of it, it's a pretty straightforward one to tackle. The last section is the essay section. And this, of course, is not multiple choice, whereas the other 3 are. But the challenge with the essay section is that it's very time intensive. You're only given 25 minutes to write a 2-page essay. And here's an example of the type of prompt you might be given. There's usually some kind of blurb given, and then a prompt that you're supposed to respond to. Now this is the one that many people find rather daunting. 25 minutes is not a long amount of time. What am I going to write? And a lot of people kind of sit and stare or plan for the first 5 minutes. So you really need to have a game plan and a strategy and a template you want to apply so that as soon as you start the essay section, you can start writing. And it's really critical because it's the very first section you take in the SAT. So if you do this poorly, there's a high chance that you're going to kind of be in a bad mood and not feel good for the rest of the test. Okay, so to recap, there are 4 sections. 3 of them are multiple choice, sentence improvement, error detection, and passage improvement. And 1 type of question is the essay question. And of course, that's the 25-minute essay. Okay, so that's the overview. This was the least important lecture that I'm going to give. So don't worry too much if you didn't quite catch everything. We want to spend our time really going over the grammar and how to respond to these different types of questions.